Hi, this is Umair back with another video. This time I'm a bit more excited because I'm going to develop a game for multiple platforms with the help of this gaming engine called GameMaker Studio. So in this video, I'll be talking about how to develop games, how to deploy games, how to use different tools inside this GameMaker Studio for developing games for Android, iOS, Windows, web and desktop. Alright, so you can see on my screen this is the game that I'm going to develop. I'll give you all these assets, but make sure you don't publish this game by your own name. If you want to publish it, make sure you change the assets and add few levels inside this game. I'll be giving you an idea how to create this main menu. If I click on start, it will show me another screen, and on this screen I need to pop this balloon. It's asking me pop me. If I click on it, this balloon will be popped up and my gameplay screen will be shown up. If I just click on it, I'm just showing you by clicking on it, but if we run this game on mobile device, we need to touch this thing. Okay, so if I click on it, and you can see that game has been restarted. I need to pop up all the balloons, and with the time the speed of balloon will be increased. Alright, so I can also click on it. It's asking me that you really want to end the game. If I say yes, game will be end and it will close the game on any device, whether it's desktop, web or mobile. If I say no, game will be restarted. I can also pause the game, okay, and then I need to click on the resume button in order to replay the game. If I click on it, and let's just end the game. Once it ends, you can see that I have a replay button for restarting this game. I have the exit button for exiting the game on mobile, web or desktop, and it's showing me current score that I have just played in front of you, and it is showing me the best score. And I'll be using INI files that is used to store the scores inside the device, whether it's a mobile device, web device or desktop device. If I close the game and replay the game again, this score will be shown up again. This is the best score and it is permanently stored in my device, and I'll be starting from the start by creating a new project. Okay, and I'll be giving you this whole assets. So let's get started, but before that, again, in my all videos I've been telling you that go to Facebook and join this programmers group for getting more information and for learning more about programming. So let's get started and create our amazing balloons popping game. So when you will download and install GameMaker Studio in your system and open the file, you will see this interface. I'm using a kind of older version as I'm making this video in 2017 right now. In 2017, GameMaker Studio 2 have been released. But you can carry on with me. The tools and the logic of code will be same that I'll be writing in this video, and all the structure of programming files, objects, sprite sheets will be remaining same. Okay, so you can carry on with it if you have even older version or the latest version of GameMaker Studio. So when you will open it, you need to click on new and you need to give the path of the project where you want to create it. So let me give the path. Okay, so let me create a new folder. Okay, and I'm going to name this project balloons, and I'll click on create. So it will take some time and it will create a new project inside GameMaker Studio. Okay, so if I click on it, you can see that it has created an empty project inside GameMaker Studio. First of all, I want to introduce you about the interface of it, because I'm focusing on the beginners who just want to learn the game programming and don't have any experience inside it. So you can see that on the left side I have these default folders. I can't create custom folders because these are used for specific purpose. The first one is the sprite Sprites are anything inside our game. It can be button, it can be image, it can be our character, it can be wall, background. Everything is sprite. Anything that we want to use in our game, we must bring that thing inside this folder. Okay, and after that we have sounds for bringing up the sounds inside our game, the background for adding up the background inside our scenes. The path is used for detecting our racing games, for detecting the distance from one path to other path, but we are not going to use this folder in this game. Okay, we have the scripts folder, all the codes and the logics that we need to write, we add that file inside this scripts folder. Any script that is needed to be used for multiple objects can be added inside this scripts folder, but we can also write scripts, write our code directly inside our individual object. That we are gonna do in this video. We have the shaders for adding the shadows, we have the fonts for adding the scores, high scores, current score that we are going to use in this video. We have the timeline for creating the times, we have the objects. So anything that we want to create in our game should be inside the sprite folder, and once it inside the sprite folders, we need to create the object of individual sprite inside this object folder. All right, so anything that is not in the sprites folder cannot be added inside this objects folder, and anything that is not inside this objects folder cannot be used in our game. Okay, so one sprite should also be inside this objects folder and inside this sprites folder. We have rooms. Rooms are the screens. Each room, we have the main menu screen, we have a gameplay screen, we have multiple stages of our game, we have end screen, we have resume, pause screen. So all the things will be in this rooms folder. All right, other things are just for extensions, and I'm gonna click on this global game settings. Okay, so it's gonna open up this window, and you can see at the top we have the main menu that is showing the multiple platforms for those we can create our game. We have Windows, we have Mac, we have Linux, we have HTML5, iOS, we have Windows Phone, Android, Facebook. And if I click on Android, we can add the name of our game that we want to show up on the Play Store. If we want to publish this game, we can add a version, we add the company name, we can add the logos and multiple things that we are gonna do at the end of this tutorial, and I'll show you a completely running game on my Android device. Alright, so at the top you can see that we have different buttons. We can also right click on it and create different things, but we can directly click on it. If I hover my cursor on it, you can see that we can also create a sprite by clicking on it. We can play our game, and this is the main thing that we want to focus on. This is the target platform for which we are developing our game. Okay, so right now I have set it to stream workshop just for testing purpose. If I want to test the game running on my screen, that I was just playing the game by clicking on it, that's why I just clicked on stream workshop. If I want to publish my game Windows, that needs to be selected. If I want to publish my game iOS, Android, Windows 8, Ubuntu, HTML5, that needs to be selected. Okay, so just for testing purpose, we need to click on Steam Workshop. All right, so now once it is selected, let me give you something inside the file. If I click on the file and go to the preferences, you can see that I have other things inside it as well. I have the Android. So inside this Android, I need to give the links, the folder links of my SDK that I'll be showing you later on, and I have the NDK. I can also give the link on JDK. It's showing me that check Android SDK right now does not exist because I need to give a proper path inside this GameMaker Studio. Okay, so for now that's pretty much it. So if you have downloaded the sprites, make sure you put those assets inside the balloons project. This is the project that I'm running on the Game Maker Studio, and this is the folder, assets folder. Inside it I have sound and I have sprites. These are the sprites that I'm gonna be using in this video, and this is the background image. Make sure you download it and put it just aside of your project. Okay, so now let's start creating our game. Now let's create our first scene, and inside that scene I'm going to add a background. So inside the rooms folder, if I right click on it, it's saying me that create room. I'll click on it. Okay, so let's just close it. Alright, make it a little bit bigger. Now I need to go to setting and give it width and height. So we are making our game for our mobile device, and that will be in the portrait layout. We need to give a width to it accordingly. So the width would be 7, 6, 8, and height would be 1024. So this is the height. Every device, mobile device, might have different resolution, but this is a common width and height for all the mobile devices, common ratio of width and height. And those devices which are have different width and height than this, the game will automatically compress or stretch its pixels to fit inside that device. So you can see that we have our actual scene right here. Now we need to go to the background, and we need to click on this background 0, and if I click on it, you can see that it's saying me there is no background added in my background folder. If you see this folder backgrounds, you can see that we haven't added our background sprite, background image inside this backgrounds folder. When we will add our background image inside it, it will not show no background. Instead it will show our actual background. Okay, so we have set our properties. Let's change its name. So I'll name it start page. Okay, so now we need to save these settings. I need to click on this tick button. So we have saved our start page. Now I need to right click on backgrounds folder and create background, and it has opened me a window. I can also edit a background. It has just shown me a paint like tool. Inside it I can give it a width and height. Okay, and I can also do something that I want. I can have a pen, I have brush, I have the circles and different other things, but I have given you sprite sheets and I have given you images. I'm not gonna use this one, so I'll cross this. Okay, instead I will load background. Okay, so I need to go to my assets folder, inside the games, assets, and this is the background. I'll open this up. Okay, and I'll click OK. So I have a background 0 in my backgrounds folder. I need to go back to my start underscore page. If I double click on it, it will open this thing up. Okay, so now I need to go to background and come down. If I click on it, you can see that it's showing me background 0 because I added the background 0 inside it. If I click on it, you can see that this background have been added to my room, and if I click on it, you can see that I have the grids. I can also remove the grids to see the proper view. Visual representation is looking pretty good. If I click on it, this grid is just for laying out different items, different objects on this room. So we have set up our background to our room. Now let's test it. If we run our game, this background actually shown up or not. Okay, so I will click on this tick icon to save the changes. Let's press Ctrl S to save our project. Now I need to select the Stream Workshop and click on this play button. If I click on it, you will see that it has opened up and the background have been successfully added inside my room. So we have set up our background. Now we need to set up our start screen that has our logo of our game, and that has a start button, and that has an exit button on our start game. So for that we need to add our sprites in our sprites folder, and once we add our sprites inside this folder, after that we also need to add those sprites inside this objects folder. So I will right click on the sprites folder, create sprite, and I'm not going to create the sprite inside this game maker. Instead I'm going to load my sprite. I'll go to the sprites and I will just click on it, design 10, and I will open this up. Okay, and I need to set its center point where I want to calculate its x-axis position and y-axis position, and I want to bring its center point. Right now it's 0 0 0 0 starts from top left corner. I need to bring that anchor point to the center. I need to click on the center. You can see that there is a plus sign with it. So that means that everything that I'll be calculating, whether it's x-axis position or y-axis position, will be calculated from the center point. If I increase the x-axis, it will be calculated from this center point. Okay, so we have loaded our sprite. Let's click OK. Okay, so we have sprite 0 added in our sprites folder. Okay, so let's right click on it and I'm gonna rename it. Let's double click it, instead write a name inside it, and I'm going to give it a logo. Okay, let's press OK. So now we have added a sprite inside our sprite folder. Now we need to right click over objects folder. Okay, let's create object. So it has a small area inside it that is showing me the sprite, and if I click on this icon, it's showing me all those sprites that are added inside this sprites folder. If I didn't add anything inside this sprites folder, I can't add objects. So first I need to add anything inside sprites folder, and after that I can add objects in my objects folder. So I'll click on this logo and name the object logo as well. Okay, and I'll come back here after once I give you the overview how we can design overview. And so we have added a sprite. Let's click OK. Resource with this name already exists. Okay, let's double click it, and I'm going to give it let's keep it with the object 0. I'll come back to it and change it name after that. Let's click OK. So we have object 0 added inside it. Okay, so now I will open up my start page, and let's bring that up. Let's unlock this grid, and I'll go to my objects. Alright, and inside the objects, if I come down and if I click on it, you can see that it's showing me there is an object inside my objects folder, and I need to click on it. Okay, and once I will select that particular object, I need to click anywhere on this scene. If I click right here, you can see that it has been added inside it, and I can drag this around to set its position. Okay, I can also do it with the programming, but right now this is just a logo. I need to give it a static constant fixed value, so I can set it's approximately this is the center, so that will look good. Let's bring it a bit more up. So that's it. So we have set our logo inside our room. Okay, so I need to click on this tick icon. We have set our start page. Now let's play this game. So you can see that we have our room, and inside our room we have logo that we added in objects folder. Now we have two buttons inside it. That is a start button and other is the exit button. There are other things that will move behind this logo we have the clouds, we have small balloons coming from behind, and it's just like a small animation that I'll be doing later on. But first I want to show you the user interface. Let's right click on sprites, create sprite, and I will load this sprite. I will load the exit button, and I need to load the start button. So it should be, this is the start. Let's press control so that both, actually at one time I can only select one, so let's add a start. Okay, we have sprite 1. Let's click center. Actually it has been exit selected, so let's say we will add up later, so exit. So let's press center as well. I click OK. There are some built-in names inside it. Game Maker Studio, we can't rename anything with that name. So exit was that, so I'll give it a name exit 1. Okay, so I'll click OK. You can see that exit 1 have been set as the name of this object. Now I will right click on the objects, create object. If I click on it, I have exit 1 sprite. Okay, so inside it I can add exit underscore btn. Okay, so I will click OK. Make sure you select the exit 1 from here and click OK. Now I'll go to the start page and just scroll back, and let's unlock this grid, and I'll go to objects. If I click on it, we can see that we have exit button object shown. If I click on it and click on the room, you can see that there is an exit button. I can set its position. Let's set its position right here, because above that we have to add our start button. So this is the exit button. So that has been set. Let's click this tick icon and let's just load our start button. This is the start. Okay, so start 1, and always don't forget to click on the center, because we want to calculate the position from the center of it. It doesn't make any difference or create any problem if we are setting our object statically at a constant position, but if we want to move specific object, like we have balloons that we want to move in our game, in that case we really need to take care of its origin. Okay, because we want to change the position of object programmatically, so that needs to be set to center. Let's click OK. So we have start 1. Let's right click on objects and create object out of that sprite that we have just added. So just click on it and we have a start 1, and we will name it start underscore btn, and I'll click OK. Let's go to start page and just scroll back. Let's bring it to center. Let's close the grid. Inside the objects tab, I will click on this icon and I will select the start button, and I will click anywhere inside it. You can see that I have this start button. I can drag it right here. Okay, so you can see that I have the exit and I have the start button added on my scene. Let's bring it a bit up. Let's bring it a bit up. Now we have set up our first start screen. There are some things that also need to be added. We have trees, we have something below this exit button. So I have already explained you how to add the sprites and objects and add that object in my room, and I'm just going to add those things inside it without explaining you those things. So let's do that. Let's click this tick icon and I will right click on sprite, create sprite. Let's load sprite and let's bring up this thing. Okay, so open this up. Let's keep it to center. Okay, let's click on the objects, create object, and we have sprite 3, and I'm going to name it ground 1. Okay, let's double click start page and let's bring it back. Unlock the grid in the objects click on this icon ground 1 and click on it. You can see that we have this ground. Okay, so that has been added. Okay, let's click on it and right click on it and click on delete. Okay, so that has been set up. We have the clouds behind these logo that needs to be animated to the left side, and that needs to be generated again and again, which I will do later on once I will show you how to write code inside Game Maker Studio. So that has been set up. Let's click this icon. Now before running this game, there will still be a problem. You can see that if let's close it, there is an exit object above this background image, these greenish area. Okay, but I want this Game Maker Studio to know that this greenish area should be behind this exit object. So I need to set the depth to my object that you need to be at the back of this button. Otherwise this exit button will be behind this greenish area. So I need to go click ground 1. I need to give its depth. As I give its depth, it's gonna go back. So I'll give it 50. I can give it any value to bring that object to the back of that exit button. So I'll click OK and I will save it. Okay, let's save this project and I will click on this play button. It's blinking, still blinking. I don't know why, but so there is a problem inside it. If you remember, if I go to the exit sprite and if I edit sprite, you can see that there are two objects because I selected two objects from their start and exit, and it's just shown up just exit. So I thought that if I have just selected the exit button, but I need to remove other thing from here. So I will just select this one. Okay, and I will go to the top menu and I will click this scissor icon. Okay, so that has gone. Now if I click on this icon, you can see that have been selected. So I'll click OK. So let's run it. Now it should be fine. So you can see that we have a start button, we have exit button, we have a logo, we have our greenish area behind this button, and there are other things that are also needed to be added. These are the clouds that needs to be the move from the right towards the left side. That I'll show you how to write code inside Game Maker Studio, then we will move that thing up. We also need to add small balloons coming out from these greenish tree area and going upward, so that will make a little bit more interesting inside the game.